I've got a bunch of questions which look very small and innocuous, but they need long replies. So the first question is, given that many people are struggling with overspending and not saving enough, how can individuals navigate their financial journey by avoiding these and other common mistakes? Now, this is a very nice question. There is somebody who thinks that people should spend less and should save more. Unfortunately, this is not the Prime Minister of the country nor the Finance Minister of the country. So, look at what the Finance Minister has done. The Finance Minister has announced PLIs. Everybody is happy about PLIs. Everybody says, wow, Google is going to make phones in India, Apple is making phones in India, Samsung is making phones in India. Fantastic. So, does the government want you to save more or spend more? Right? Answer this question for yourself. It's not for me. Right? Secondly, they make a change in the Income Tax Act by which they remove ATC. Now, ATC is not something which was driving me and you perhaps, and for those people who are earning so much that ATC was covered by their provident fund alone, but there is a huge population just below that who was very happy that they put 1.5 lakhs in ATC, which could be home loan repayment, children's school fees, provident fund, NSC, PPF, whatever. Now that ATC is gone, ATD is gone, I do not know what will be the impact on the insurance companies, the medical insurance companies, but the target seems to be to ask people to spend more, right? Now, cut to a shop that I was standing by, and I asked him, what kind of phones do you sell? So he said, I sell only upmarket phones, 1,25,000 to 1,60,000, 1,70,000. So I said, how do you make people buy that? He said, it's very simple. Somebody comes and says, I want to buy a phone for 30,000 rupees. So I said, why can't you increase it to 45,000? So they are happy increasing it to 45,000. So they say, okay, 40,000 is okay. So I make sure that they buy a phone where it is 40,000 down payment, right? So that's not the cost of the phone. So it's 40,000 down payment or 25,000 down payment or even 15,000 down payment and 6,000 per month over the next 2 years. That is 1,40,000, right? Or something like that, 3,000 per month for the next 3 years, something like that is available. There are big finance companies sitting there and selling. Then I've cut to a sari shop in Bombay, in Dadar to be more specific, where a finance company representative is hanging around who is willing to give you a loan to buy a 50,000, 75,000, 1 lakh rupee sari, maybe for a wedding, maybe for just general consumption, and which is available on installment. So in a country where you are celebrating the success of Bajaj Finance, Cholamandalam, HDFC Bank, right? So you are celebrating their PE and saying, oh, fantastic growth is going to happen. That's true, fantastic growth is going to happen. That is because the population is borrowing and buying. What can we do to reduce them doing this? Nothing, because there is enough peer pressure for them to buy the latest phone. So I did a dipstick survey and I found it is perfectly all right for a person earning 1 lakh per month to buy a 1.5 lakh rupee phone. To me, the ratio is pretty shocking, but then it's quite common, right? It's quite common. I'm sure you're not very far away when you will start getting haircuts on EMI. You're already able to buy a gym membership today on EMI, because gym membership is cheaper buying it on an annual basis. So people want to buy it on an annual basis, but if the annual figure is 20,000, that's too high. They don't have. So they're happy signing up for EMI and saying, oh, this is an EMI, so it's okay. So they buy. They have no clue about the finance cost, etc. And I'm not here to teach them all that. I'm just telling you that the environment is more for spending than for saving. So about 1978-79, when HDFC got into housing finance, that is what, about 22 plus 22, about 45 years back, we legitimized saying, oh, buying a house you can never buy without borrowing. So it was legitimate to borrow for a house. Then we legitimized buying a car on a loan, saying, oh, how can you drive such a small car? So you need a bigger car, please come and borrow, which was unheard of even in the 80s, then in the 90s. Then when you have a Maruti Hyundai and Honda and Tata, everybody wanting to sell car, Maruti of course, wanting to sell cars in India. What do? They bring their own finance companies, they're happy to fund. When they are funding, the banks are willing to lend to them, saying, oh, these are high quality papers, so we should be able to lend. So the whole environment is created for you to buy a house and a car without any guilt by borrowing, right? Absolutely no guilt. All the guilt has been taken away by the previous generation. Now the next generation is happy to borrow for a marriage, for a honeymoon, for a vacation, for a sari, for a cycle, for a bicycle, for everything they are willing to borrow, which is good because the economy is booming. I have shares in all these companies which I have mentioned. And I want you to go and borrow and buy these things. Where is the question of me stopping you? Because let us assume for a minute that I stop you from doing this. Let's say, Arey, he is sitting comfortably. Look at his house. He's bought a house. He's got this camera in which he's shooting. He's got this phone from which he is loading. He's got a laptop. He's got everything. And the thing is, he's telling us not to buy. Perfectly right. Don't believe me. This is an old man's rant. You don't have to believe any of this. Go, spend, have fun. Make sure that you pay the EMIs on time, or if you don't have to worry, because that will get added back at 30% interest, which is fantastic for the companies which lend money to you, and super fantastic for somebody like me who has the shares of the company which is lending to you. So thank you very much. Please borrow, please spend. ATC is gone. File tax return under the new scheme. So no ATC, no ATD. Don't take medical insurance. Don't take life insurance. You don't need any of that stuff. Just go live. YOLO, right? You live only once. Go enjoy yourself. Don't bother about old foggies who tell you not to borrow and spend. We are wrong. You are right. Please go ahead. Have fun. Thanks for creating wealth for us. Thank you.